this last part is what really should be a concern to all of us. The dire consequences of ignoring the study done by Dr. Berggruen here could be catastrophic for all of us in the future, and the future of this planet. I don't care the Illuminatis or whoever, they have no control over this. These vehicles are controlled by a dark hand that will eliminate or cause disasters. And that is why they have built those deep underground bases, because they know that at some point in time in the future, these reptilian entities are going to create a catastrophe of unimaginable proportions. And they're planning to survive, and whoever is left over is going to be few people, and that's how they're going to impose the New World Order. It might be on small steps or gradual steps, but they will do that at some point in time, because that has been the agenda all along since the Anunnaki left the earth physically. But apparently these other reptilians, which has other entities that are either aligned with them or are neutral, and many of them, the ones that are neutral, are just spectators. Only the ones that the Creator sent, and those Anunnakis, both the leaders Enki and Enlil, they both encounter the presence of what we call an angel. They call it Gansu. And one of them told Enki to give Noah, which his real name was Siusudra, according to the Sumerian tablets that Zachariah Sitchin translated. And light being came into him in a dream, but it wasn't really a dream. He was sleeping, but the entity left him physically. The exact measurements, how to build a submersible craft or ship to save his family and few animals and his possession, and something to survive. But he didn't tell him to go and gather 2 animals or every species. That's not true. And because the Anunnaki observed the earth was the ice on the pole were already over 2 miles tall, and it was fixing to collapse. And they craft that were orbiting the Earth. The Izizi, that's how they call the astronauts that were on those craft, told Enki told the Anunnaki high rank among them, the leader, Enki and Enlil, half brothers, that there was gonna be a catastrophe happening. So Enlil, the Anunnaki that hated humans and kept them enslaved, is the one that told the Anunnaki to leave, get on the ship and get out of the planet surface, because they wanted to get rid of the humans altogether. But the other one, the good one, the geneticist, Enki, was this entity appeared to him in a dream and told him that Siusudra, or Noah, as is known in the Bible, that he should be spared. The description of Noah when he was born, according to the Sumerian tablets, is that Enki had sex wanted to have a son by a woman, human woman. These Anunnaki were at they were as 20 to 28 feet tall. Imagine how big. To grab 5 lions like they were little cats. You can see the pictograph, the carvings and that they left, and they show how big they were. A regular human were up to the knees of one of those Anunnaki. So anyway, coming back to this study, apparently that in those catastrophes, Dr. Bergrum doesn't exclude that one of these vehicles could have been the reason why that catastrophe happened, the melting of the ice, and he created a gigantic wave of over 3 or 4 miles high that covered everything on Earth. And the only human survivors, were Siusudra or Noah. And when they landed on the Ararat Mountains, that's when the Anunnaki came back down, and when Enlil saw that these people had survived, he was furious. And so Enki convinced him that this angel came to him and gave him instruction that these people had to be saved, these humans, to repopulate, because they would be needed for later on to rebuild what was later. But anyway, those are tales of history that those Anunnaki did not control these vehicles. These vehicles are controlled by a higher up reptilian entities that operate on a different vibrational realm. they operate on a fourth dimension, lower density, and we are not able to see them except when they allow us to see them. And the only way to see them is with cameras, electro-optical devices. So this is how he explained, Dr. Berggruen explained that the moon was shaped. All those holes are burn marks from the electromagnetic vehicles, and most of them have the hexagonal shape because that has something to do with vibrational, how do you call that, electromagnetic resonance. It has several purposes. They create shapes, they create buildings, all of that is produced by the vehicle melting on the surface at certain depth under the surface and create cavities, which are in the shape of buildings and even, how you call that, sculptures are all made by these plasma jets. They use two types of electromagnetic energy, the red plasma jet and low and high power electricity power is applied, current. Well, once you read the whole book, when you get to this part, then you realize how everything has been done and why I'm talking about catastrophe in the future, in the past, in the present, and the future. Hurricanes, tornadoes, meteors, and comets are being directed by those vehicles, including the sun getting hot. They're always being, and he cited several instances where astronomers have observed objects, cylindrical objects, and others in meteors and in comets, including one that hit the sun, that if it would have hit Earth, it would have vanished the entire population here in the 80s, in the 70s. And this is why he's playing right there. Even the Tunguska explosion in Russia in 1908. People say that right before that happened, a large cylindrical object was seen up in the skies, a very huge cylindrical object. So apparently the object barely came by and affected and caused an explosion equal to or greater than the Hiroshima explosion, atomic bomb. So here is how the vehicle shaped the part of the moon called Mare Orientale. And you can see the markings done by the plasma jet that comes out of the front of the vehicle like a tornado type, and it leaves an hexagonal shaped mark in rings. And then it leaves this bulging plasma pinch, or pinch plasma as he called it, just like the one he observed in